But we do have college football coming in. We have the top 5 college football games of the week. And these are some absolute bangers this week. Kind of. Yeah, it's not. It's honestly not a bad setup this week. We have the Ohio State versus Penn State at Penn State. This, to me, this is a game. This is the game for Ohio State to prove that they deserve to be in this position that they're in. Penn State's not like end all be all for them. Like obviously we'll see their true test when they face Michigan later this year, but this is their test before Michigan. They have to absolutely pummel Penn State or at least beat them soundly to continue this ride that they're on. But I like Penn State to win this football game. I think this is a trap game. It's going to be loud. I hope Penn State does the whiteout. I haven't seen anything yet whether they're going to do that. I hope they do the whiteout this week. This is going to be an absolutely phenomenal game for Ohio State as we bring in Cody here. Cody, we're going to Ohio State, Penn State to start off.
Like it.
Ohio State's favored 15.5. It's in Penn State. I don't know if you've heard anything. I haven't seen anything on Twitter. Do you know if Penn State's doing the whiteout?
I thought that was last week.
They did whiteout last week.
Oh, man, you wasted it when you had Ohio State rolling in?
I don't think you want to – I think they avoid that kind of stuff. Like, you have a whiteout to Ohio State and you get smoked, it looks ridiculous. Like, I think you put those games –
They did whiteout on Minnesota? No.
Yeah.
They were – oh, my gosh, dude. On Minnesota?
You win that game, right? If you do a whiteout against Ohio State and get smoked by 40, you're like, well, that was a waste of energy.
What a waste
like Oklahoma State's doing blackout against Iowa State, right? Then you blackout against Oklahoma last year because you're like, well, if we blow that game, it looks kind of like a ridiculous situation.
I don't know,
look at this guy.
Rip to tradition, man. Rip to tradition. What do you like here, Seth?
The reason I'm taking Ohio State to blow the doors off Penn State, and the reason is it's an 11 o'clock game. Penn State probably not going to really come around for that thing. If it was a late game, I'd probably consider Penn State with their crowd. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be full. It's going to be packed. But I think it'd be better if in Penn State's favor if it was a late game. Ohio State has not proven to me that they're stoppable yet. I mean, they're hanging points on everybody. So I'm going to take Ohio State, even with the spread probably, to win this game.
Haven't played anybody worth a damn yet.
Prove to me otherwise that they're. I mean, granted they haven't played anybody, but until they prove that they're just. I mean, they have 3 of the best receivers in college football on their team.
But this is probably the easiest schedule Ohio State's had in like the past 8 years.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. They have a cupcake.
All right, Barrett, what do you think here? You like Ohio State or Penn State?
I like Ohio State. I think they'll cover. Kind of just piggybacking on Seth until they look like they can be stopped. How are you going to pick against them, man?
Cody, where are you swinging this game?
I don't think Ohio State covers. I think Penn State getting beat down by Michigan kind of maybe wakes them up a little bit. And it's in like I said, it's at Penn State. So I think it's one of those games Ohio State clearly controls. Probably give a 2-3 score game, entire game. Penn State probably scores late to cover the spread, beat the spread. Sorry. So Ohio State wins probably pretty easily, controls the game, but I don't think it's by more than 15. I think Penn State to play a little harder because Michigan just absolutely took them to the woodshed. But Ohio State's clearly the better team, and I agree. Ohio State's played nobody. Just kind of their reverse test. So maybe that's plays in Penn State's favor. Maybe Ohio State's not ready for the speed and quickness of a real team. But I think overall Ohio State's just better than Penn State, and they'll show that pretty much the entire game.
I like that one. Thanks. All right, we're going to move on to the Big Ten rivalry down there in Ann Arbor that's going to take place. Michigan State rolling into Michigan. This game feels like a trap. Like a couple of these games feel like traps to me. Michigan is a dominant team. They're looking very, very good. I think they're going to beat Ohio State come Big Ten time. But man, this is just one of those games. I feel like Michigan State is going to hang in there, and they're good. I don't think they're going to win. By all means, I don't think they're going to win. But I think Michigan State covers this 23-point spread. Seth, what are your thoughts?
No, this is in a big house. Everybody was like, "How much you guys have been tested?" Well, they got tested. They beat Penn They beat the shit out of. Did they play Penn State?
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of them. It's like whatever. Michigan State is nowhere near what they have been in the past when they beat Michigan. Kenneth Walker's not there to save you. So, yeah, this is gonna be a Michigan State just absolutely ass kicking.
Barrett, where are you going?
Or that's it. Michigan's gonna kick the
That's
shit out.
it. That's a huge line. Big
this big of a
house, though,
rivalry
man. Big rivalry game in the big house, though. Give me Michigan. I think they'll cover. Screw it.
Yep. Cody, what are your thoughts here on this iconic rivalry?
Agreed. Michigan beats some covers. Michigan State is not good, to say the least. Michigan's kind of a roll. Their offense is going pretty good. Blake Corum is obviously a Heisman contender right now. Looking at Michigan State's schedule, they lost to Minnesota handily, lost to Maryland. Did beat Wisconsin. Michigan State's just not good. I think Michigan's on a roll right now, so I think Michigan's going to roll pretty much the rest of the season until they get to Ohio State, and that'll be their big test.
Like
Michigan
that.
big.
All right, we'll save the OSU game for last here.
Nope.
But we'll go Kentucky versus Tennessee. Tennessee only favored 12.5 in this contest. This line seemed low to me. I think Tennessee's just going to roll Kentucky. I mean, you take down Bama in that kind of fashion. You don't drop one to Kentucky. I just don't think it's going to happen. I like Tennessee to absolutely dominate this game. If there was an alternate spread, I would take it at like 31.
That's a lot. Okay, yeah, you're getting a little crazy with the 31 there. Tennessee doesn't have a high-powered offense, but Kentucky's got Will Levis in their offense as well. So I think it's going to be more of a shootout style. Granted, it's in Knoxville. It's going to be a great environment for the game, loud as can be. So I don't think I think Kentucky covers. I don't know if they can. They can't outpace Tennessee because Jalen Hyatt and Hendon Hooker and all them boys are going to do what they're going to do. But I don't think Tennessee's defense can stop Will Levis.
Barrett, what do you think here?
Yeah, I like Tennessee. I think they'll cover. Coming off a huge Alabama win a couple weeks ago, like Tennessee, they can't. I mean, at this point, they can't. They got to avoid all letdowns. Like they can't just come out and play soft and give Kentucky a chance at the end of the game because they could end up losing. So you just got to go in. You got to keep blowing out these teams and get to the SEC championship pretty much.
Yep. Cody, what are your thoughts here, man?
So I go opposite of what I said against Ohio State, Penn State, right? So I think this game stays close, and then Tennessee probably scores a late touchdown to cover. Tennessee's got Georgia next week, so they're going to be probably a little bit distracted. They're coming off a Bama win. They're coming off I'm calling a bye week to play UT Martin. So, and they're going to Kentucky, who's ranked and not a bad team. They're solid. They can surprise people, but they've got Georgia next week. It's another huge game they've got to win. So I think they get a little distracted by Georgia. I think they win. I think it's probably closer most of the game, and maybe Tennessee pulls away at the end to cover. Tennessee wins. I don't see them not winning this game. Kentucky, I think, is a little bit overrated. They've got to win over a bad Florida team, over a mid-tier Mississippi State team. So I don't think Kentucky is ever worth a 19 ranking. So Tennessee probably covers at the end, was what I'd think.
Hey, Tennessee's got the Heisman win their team.
It's not wrong.
And Hooker.
He's on his way.
Yep.
I think one more win against. I think if they beats Georgia, I think it's his to lose at that point.
Yeah, it's a lock if he beats Georgia.
Yeah.
Why is Florida Georgia on here?
Because this is a trap game for Georgia. It's
No,
there's not a lot of good games on college football this week. I mean, you're looking at the slate right here.
Florida's bad.
This is the slate right here. I mean, if I scroll down the list, another team I throw in here would be Notre Dame versus Syracuse. And if I keep scrolling, Cincy UCF. I mean that's where we're at here. So I wanted to throw in an SEC matchup that had implications. I mean, in the off chance Georgia just fucking blows their ass out here and gets beat, that's going to look crazy bad on them. It's going to look great for Florida, who's only a 3-loss team right now.
Well, I like it because you're right. Georgia and Tennessee, they're playing until next week. So next week, it's a big game next week, right? So this is each other's trap games.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I like it.
But
Yeah.
the only other game I could think to throw in here would be A&M, Ole Miss, and A&M's 3-4.
Ugh.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's something to talk about there, okay? I mean,
Shit.
Ole Miss kind of got a little exposed last week.
And Ole Miss is only favored 2 in that contest.
Yeah, but A&M ain't exposing. A&M's not exposing anybody. That team is garbage. It was worse than Florida. A&M.
Poor Jimbo, paying all these recruits can't win games.
Oh man, poor Jimbo. That's $75 million contract. Too
But
bad.
I like the Florida Georgia game because it's on a neutral field. They're not playing it
Oh,
in
it is.
Georgia.
That's right.
It's in Jacksonville, and
Oh,
Georgia's
yeah.
only favored 22.5. The fact that this is a neutral game, Georgia's looking to Tennessee, and Tennessee's looking to Georgia. Both these games kind of feel like traps, and they could be played close, hard-fought games, man. But I still like Georgia to win here, but a 22.5-point spread on a neutral field, looking forward to Tennessee. I think
The
Florida
biggest-
could cover this spread.
Biggest cocktail party in the U.S., right? That's what they say down there.
Yeah, Seth, what are your thoughts?
Georgia's going to beat Florida by like 35.
Yeah.
Florida is terrible. Anthony Richardson is not what he was made out. He was Heisman winner week 1, not so much week after that. Florida they're not good, man. I thought maybe they would have some fight, some hunger coming into the season after watching them the first couple weeks. Next year cannot become faster for Florida. I mean, get your recruits in there with Billy Napier, and hopefully you can turn it around.
Wow.
Agreed. Barrett, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I like Georgia. Unfortunately, probably to dominate them. I can't see 22. God, college sometimes with their spreads, man. Oof.
It's the only sport spreads like it.
Yeah. I think Georgia blows them out, right? Like, I don't see Florida competing. Maybe like in the first half, but then that Georgia defense is just going to wear them down, man.
Yep. Cody, what are your thoughts here?
I kind of agree with the other guys. I think Georgia rolls here. Florida's bad. They got early off from beating a Utah team who's not that great. So like I think they just got a bunch of momentum off beating that Utah team. I think Georgia's already had their wake up calls, and I don't think Tennessee's had that yet against a bad team. Georgia struggled a little bit with Kent State, and they really about lost to Missouri. They should have lost Missouri. Missouri absolutely blew that game. So I think they've already been woken up a little bit, as evidenced by the fact they've outscored the last 2 opponents with that 97-10. So I think Georgia's awake now. I think they blow by Florida, and then they focus on Tennessee after that, and that would be a great game. So I think Georgia is ready to go. They blow Florida. I think they cover that spread probably pretty easily. Not really a game. I think it's more this game's big appeal is just it's Florida Georgia. Past that, it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I will say this: Georgia needs to put this game to bed early, so starters can rest.
Same with Tennessee, they can.
Absolutely. If one of these teams doesn't get their starters resting before the fourth quarter, it's going to be a tough game next week because
this is the CBS 2:30 game, right?
Yep.
Of course it is. The SEC on CBS.
No, I've got some thoughts on time scheduling when we get to the OSU Kansas State game.
All right. Well, let's roll right into it. OSU Kansas State. KSU favored 1.5. It is in Kansas. Cody, I'm gonna roll to you on this one, being the OSU fanboy here.
This is gonna be quite a game. A lot's gonna depend on health of the quarterbacks. Obviously, is Martinez playing? I've heard he's questionable at best. I assume he's playing. I assume that's a kind of a game, cat and mouse game being played by their coach, whose name escapes me right now. Sanders, is his shoulder okay? It looked fine last week. So we'll see how that works out. Oklahoma State obviously has lost Brandon Evers to retirement. Is Brock Martin healthy again? I didn't know he was hurt until last week game time. Braden Johnson, Jaden Bray, are those guys healthy? Jason Taylor, is he going to be healthy to play? He's a playmaker in the secondary for us, so that's going to be a situation. Both teams healthy. I think Oklahoma State beats them by 10 to 14 points. I still think Oklahoma State wins here. They're just better, but Oklahoma State has a tendency to not win games they should. Kansas State's really good this year. But if Adrian Martinez isn't playing, I think Oklahoma State wins probably by a couple scores. I think Martinez is kind of an equalizer, but I don't think it'll matter. If Oklahoma State comes to play, I think they get the win.
Martinez will play. You know
I
he's
agree.
going to play.
I agree.
There's no way he doesn't play the number 9 ranked team. There's
I
just no
agree.
way. But
What
Seth,
was
what are
the
your thoughts
injury?
here?
I never saw what happened.
I never saw
I'm
it
trying-
either.
I'm trying to find something right now.
I know TCU hurt him.
TC's been doing that to everybody.
And then they hurt Will Howard, too.
Yeah, he came back to it, didn't he? He came back in the game. I thought.
I think, but I mean, they still
I
knocked
could
him
be
out
wrong.
for a
Well,
little
yeah.
I mean-
Seth, where are you going with this game here?
I've said it before. I've said it again. As long as Spencer Sanders is starting, I think OSU probably wins out their schedule and makes it to play a Big 12 championship with versus TCU, which I mean, I think they're going to be there too. If he's not healthy, I don't think OSU just won't win versus these ranked teams, and that's just what it is. Spencer Sanders has, in my opinion, elevated his game this year. He's still kind of risky with that football. He still throws the picks, makes some bad decisions every once in a while, but let's just be honest, Spencer Sanders is a game changer for Oklahoma State on the field. So I think they should easily handle Kansas State, even with Martinez back.
Yep.
Barrett, what are your thoughts here?
Even though, real quick, though, Jason Taylor blew his knee out for no reason on that pick. Sorry.
Oh, he did. Well, I've heard it was only a hyperextension. I've heard there was no ligament damage. I mean,
Hyperextension still sucks, man.
oh, I know, but I'm saying he may be back at some point. I mean, it was a great play, but that play was so useless to do that. But
All right,
hey,
Barrett, take it away, Barrett.
I like Oklahoma State. I think they'll cover as well.
I like it. Yep. I'm all riding on Spencer Sanders. I think he should be a Heisman finalist. I think he's playing great football. He's looking great. Sorry, I said great too many times. I like Spencer Sanders.
He is.
I mean, we're talking
This guy is great.
2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 picks. Obviously, it's not up there with like the big boys, but you got to factor in Sanders' leg work. This dude is one of the only, well, not one of the only quarterbacks, but one of the best quarterbacks in terms of escaping the pocket and getting upfield for first downs. I like Spencer Sanders. If he's 100% in this game, making good decisions to win this game soundly. His leg work is too good, man.
It's really
He
good.
is unbelievable leg work. And I thought Spencer Sanders, after that first game where he had like 7 total touchdowns, to me that was a Heisman guy right then and there. I was like, his leg work is advanced far from what it was last year, and it was good last year. This year's
He's
phenomenal.
smarter now. He's smarter
A
with
lot
it.
smarter. I've never seen anybody escape the pocket as well as he does.
He needs a new OC.
Adrian Martinez versus OU right there. Look at that game. That's fucking prime example. Motherfucker.
So Oklahoma State seems to handle running quarterbacks better than OU does. I don't know what it is or what the
They've
scheme
always
is.
been able to.
Oklahoma State handles running quarterbacks.
OU.
Honestly, it's just I don't know if it's athleticism on the defensive line or what, but like they just handle it better. They just always seem to handle it a little better.